So I'm in the middle of my morning run, and it's a perfect time to talk about the evil of getting used to being something or someone. The war in Ukraine is terrible, but I find myself, from time to time, being used to it. So every morning I wake up and I check the news, and there would be more terrible incidents coming from the Ukraine, and more casualties and more death. But I find myself increasingly getting used to it, and that's terrible. Maybe Vladimir Putin himself, he is probably getting used to being himself, and that's a bit terrible, because if you get used to something or being someone, then there's no space for improvement, because improvement comes from refusing to getting used to something or someone. We should never get used to this war, this terrible war. It's unthinkable. A country invading another country for, non-existent reasons and made up illusions about history, and that's terrible, and we should never get used to it. But we do get used to it. In Japan, we have cherry blossoms blooming, and after a few days, I get used to it, although they would be gone in a few days. So I should be really cherishing them, but I find myself getting used to the cherry blossoms. So we get used to everything. We get used to this wind, and we get used to being on this earth, which is the mother of all our lives. And we should never get used to something. We should never get used to our consciousness. We should never get used to being a human being, because otherwise we would lose opportunities for discovery and improvement. So we should never get used to this war, terrible war in Ukraine. With that thought, I keep my morning run.